Here comes the PowerPoint, folks. Here we are. So once again, good evening to all of you. It's my honor to speak to you very briefly and in a more traditional way about the challenges and the strengths and the future of our region. Now, from my vantage point, as the CEO of a global company, I often find myself comparing how Minnesota is doing compared with communities across the country and around the world. And the comparisons usually make me proud. This is still a place that works hard, and we usually work hard together. And that really is my message tonight, that through collaboration, innovation, and leadership, each of us can fulfill our responsibility for change. Through collaboration, innovation, and leadership, we can transform our communities into places where businesses and our people thrive. Now, we do face many, many challenges, and they are daunting. The recession's left its mark. We've struggled to balance the budget, and we've been forced to make difficult choices between conflicting priorities, and many of the trends in our state are not acceptable. More than 10% of Minnesotans now live in poverty. That's 500,000 of our friends and neighbors. 10 years ago, we ranked 3rd in household income. Today, we're 13th. More than 1/3 of Black, Latino, and American Indian students in Minneapolis public schools don't graduate. And the state's debt rating recently was downgraded, reflecting concern about shortcut budget fixes and declining reserves. And hunger in Minnesota has doubled in the last 5 years. So these statistics are troubling, but I would encourage all of us to use them as motivation for change. And as we address these challenges, we really must tap and build on the attributes that set us apart here in Minnesota. And they are these. We do have absolutely top-tier, highly educated, fantastic talent. We've got great institutions and services, whether it's the Mayo Clinic, the University of Minnesota, the regional Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport, or MnSCU. We have great institutions. Our quality of life, whether you measure it by the number of theater seats, life expectancy, or miles of bike trails, is exceptional. And you likely know that we have 20 Fortune 500 companies here in Minnesota, the most per capita of any state in the US. And all of that is great. But what really sets us apart is a culture of collaboration and engagement coupled with a tradition of philanthropy that time and time again brings us together to innovate and leads change in our state and our country. And this really is our heritage. James J. Hill and James Ford Bell played a role in early conservation efforts. John Pillsbury, the former governor, was so keenly mindful of the value of education that he took it upon himself to bring an insolvent University of Minnesota back to life. He raised the money to get it reopened, and it's said that he locked the doors up at night. And today that school ranks as the 4th largest public university in the country, educating not only Minnesotans, but students from around the world. And many of you in this room are graduates, no doubt. Our tradition of community engagement set by these early leaders continues today, and it runs deep. Nearly 200 companies, including General Mills and many firms represented here tonight, are members of the Keystone Club, pledging at least 2% of pre-tax income to philanthropy. The 35-year-old Keystone program, championed at the beginning by Ken Dayton and Wayne Thompson of Dayton's and Graco's David Koch, reflects a culture of philanthropy so unique that the New York Times wrote about us a couple years ago in a story called "The Emerald City of Giving Does Exist." But this isn't just about corporations writing checks. Minnesota Business Partnership members also share their unique expertise and resources. Pentair, for example, has installed more than 200 water treatment systems in Honduras, and Valspar has provided more than 1 million cans of paint for Habitat for Humanity construction projects. As a state, we rank 3rd in the nation in volunteerism, and we lead the nation in volunteerism here in the Twin Cities, where 40% of metro area residents serve others, representing over $2 billion per year in service. And I'd venture to say that every single person in this room is involved in their community. Everyone in this room cares about the future of Minnesota. So at a time of great skepticism about all institutions, government and business, we continue to shine through collaborative efforts. And these really are the building blocks for us, and they are in play every day. And I want to highlight just a few of them that have already been mentioned briefly earlier in the evening. Extraordinary things are being done in our state to improve early learning, to prepare our kids for school. Hats off to Dwayne Benson, Art Rolnick, and the extraordinarily innovative work of the Minnesota Early Learning Foundation, hand in hand with the Minnesota Business Partnership. This collaborative effort, which involved companies like Best Buy to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Minnesota, raised $25 million from the business sector in the past 2 years to create a national model for the right way to do early learning. And this is helping daycare providers improve, it's helping parents make quality choices, and all while using a simple and flexible scholarship model to deliver the funding to parents. And while many challenges remain to getting this agenda implemented, I want to applaud Governor Dayton for his executive order in August that expanded the Parent Aware program, a key element of this effort. Early childhood education has a huge return on investment, and we're all going to stay in this fight. I also want to touch on the importance of collaboration and innovation and leadership when it comes to job creation. Working together, local leaders last week launched Greater MSP to market our regions, gather insights from potential job creators, and inject new jobs and new growth into our economy. We know that Minnesota can be a challenging place to grow jobs. Our taxes and regulatory climate, combined with labor costs, often put us at a disadvantage compared to other places. However, this new regional economic development approach, chaired by Ecolab's Doug Baker and with Greater MSP's new CEO Mike Langley, this new approach embraces a virtuous cycle of improvement with a single-minded focus. Many business leaders in this room have already stepped forward to support this very innovative effort, and so too have elected officials, including, I will tell you, absolutely outstanding leadership from both Mayors Ryback and Coleman and other municipal and county leaders. Greater MSP has the potential to involve virtually everyone in this room, and it has the potential to fuel growth in our region. Now, I want to call your attention to one other collaborative effort worth noting, although there are many, many others deserving of our attention. Hunger-Free Minnesota is the first statewide campaign of its kind in this country, unifying business leaders, community organizations, government policy specialists, faith communities, food banks, thousands of volunteers. Hunger-Free Minnesota has a 3-year plan to reduce hunger in our state. Currently, Minnesotans miss more than 100 million meals per year, and our kids account for 40% of those who go hungry. Cargill, Hormel, General Mills are among those who have been closely involved in this, but there is a place for all of us at the Hunger Solutions table, and I welcome all of you to have a seat. Finally, in closing, I want to note that working alongside all of these initiatives and countless others is your partnership. The Minnesota Business Partnership is here to lead. It advocates on your behalf every day, and it strives to bring your expertise to bear on state problems. That's what this organization was created to do over 30 years ago. And I thank all of you who are involved and encourage those of you who aren't to please get involved and stay involved, because in the end, the only way out of our current tough set of problems is for us to collaborate, to really work together, to innovate, to find new ways to address our problems, and for all of us to have the courage to lead. Thank you very much.